everybody. I am in such a good mood today because I have so much to talk about, so many videos to come out. So y'all better be hitting that subscribe button right here, right now, because yeah, you guys got a lot to say, and I'm sure a lot of what I'm going to be saying is what's on your heart as well. By the way, if you hear stuff going on in the background, it's very windy right now, and so yeah, it's irritating me more than it's irritating you, I promise. And I've got all the doors, all the windows and everything shut, so everything you're hearing is just the crazy wind. So without further ado, let's talk about Kyrie Irving, because Kyrie Irving, who is a basketball player, faced some controversy in this world that we live in today because he decided that he said no to getting the you-know-what in order to be able to play sports. And the reason why I want to talk about this specifically is because so many people, when all this stuff was going down, it was really marketed to all of us that if you don't do this and that and that and the other, that your life will never go forward and you will never be able to work again and you will never be able to do what you need to do, right? And usual scare tactics of the world and their king, Satan. And so now that we fast forwarded and Kyrie has been able to, resume work, as many people who didn't do, these certain things have been able to do, I wanted to just highlight and remind us all and warn us again, because these things are going to come again, guys. Don't think that these people, the tactics they've tried, they're not going to try them again. If you think that this is the end of this thing, or you think that we're not going to be getting convinced about the next lie in a couple of months' time, or even now, like, please be awake. I pray that the Lord would wake you up, because I'm telling you, this is just the beginning. And so while we've had our first kind of stint, there's a lot of reflection going on at the moment, largely because there's a lot of exposure going on, and whether that be people being exposed for who they really are, what they've really been doing behind the closed doors, or whether it being shown that actually, like in the case of Kyrie, so we can go back to work, and the issue that I have with stuff like this, and he spoke about this, he spoke about the fact that for him, this is all about freedom. It was about the fact that he has freedoms that that need to be maintained. And I always talk about this on the channel, how, God gives us free will. So it's nobody else's. If God doesn't cross our free will, then who else has the right to do that? Absolutely no one, right? And so I think it's important for us to discuss this, because a lot of people in the sports industry and entertainment industry and all the other industries that I like to talk about on this channel, they were forced to maybe make decisions that they otherwise wouldn't have, under the guise of this is the only way that you're going to be able to work and you're going to be able to live, when in reality, not even 2 years later, or just about 2 years later, it's clear that that's not the case. And the thing that upsets me the most, and the reason why it's important to speak up about this, I get that a lot of people, followed the guidelines and what have you. When I say the guideline, anyway, let's not get into that. I'm not telling people to not follow the guidelines. I'm talking here about defending free will. So let's just make that clear. But the reason why I'm talking about this is because there have been some very odd developments in the world, if you will, that have happened as a result of the majority of the population getting this thing. And all I will say is that I don't find it strange that people are all of a sudden dying out of nowhere. I talked about this in a previous video, that why are so many young people dying? Yeah, because maybe this is why. And again, people talk about like, oh, we're moving forward in technology. It's amazing that this company stepped forward and did that. Oh, look at modern technology. If the technology is so good, why are we dying? Why are more people dying and dying younger? Why is there more disease? Why is there need? Why are even these thingamabobbies that people are getting injected with, right? How come? My understanding of an antibody, or like your white blood cells being able to defend your body, which is basically the purpose of getting something, is it introduces it to your body, right? So your body, here I go with my science hat, right? The whole idea is they introduce a form of the exact thing into your body so that your body learns how to defend it, because then when your body has defended something once, it can easily defend it again, and that's the whole point of your immune system. So again, why are we saying that people are getting something and then they need to get a boosted version of it? What happened to the biology of how those things are supposed to work? What happened to just telling people that they need to eat a really good diet. Like, I'm shocked that people were not being advised. Like, and I said this as well, when this whole thing went down, tell y'all what the first thing I did was, I was like, I'm gonna make sure I'm eating a balanced diet. I'm getting all my vitamins, my minerals, my macros, my micros, everything to aid my body, make sure I'm getting fresh air, make sure that I'm doing exercise. So why do I say all of this stuff? I say all this stuff just to say that we can clearly see from what's happened with Kyrie and so on and so forth, that this whole thing really and truly was not what they marketed it out to be in the beginning, and that people stood and they survived. The people who stood and stuck it out, they survived on the other end. So I say that as an encouragement to you guys, that you should stand and be encouraged to stand and continue, because you can survive. But also, now let's use this time to prepare for the worst case scenario, because I'm telling you this, guys, this is going to continue. They're going to continue to create rules that make it hard for us to live our lives without them. And therefore, my advice to y'all, work out how you gonna live without them. Work out how you gonna live without them. I was watching a video, and the guy was even talking about this, this situation, and he was saying that for him, because he didn't want to, go and get the right? He didn't bother him because he works for himself, and the people that work for him, they didn't have to do it either because he's the boss. So a lot of these things, they saw these scare tactics where you're like, you have to do this because you won't be able to live, and you won't be able to breathe, and you won't be able to this. When in reality, if you can shut that noise out for a second, stop and think, you can go, actually, guess what else was really supported during this time? Businesses. Businesses were getting loads of money. In the UK, there were people who were getting, just for like having a few things that showed that they had a business, were getting 50k. It was so bad that people literally ran off with the money out of the country and were like, woohoo, peace, homies, because they got money, right? So this is what I'm saying to y'all. We need to do is, you're in a situation, right? I was reading a book. I'll happily send it to any of you guys because I've got a copy of it, right? And it talks about business in the 21st century. And in this book that I was reading, it talks about the fact that, that I read actually this book, it talks about the fact that recession and what's happening in the world right now is always the opportunity for the rich people either to get richer or for people to become rich. So rather than us all just being in fear and terror because of the lying media and the corrupt government, let's take the reins back into our life, take the dominion back that God gave us, right? Educate ourselves, use this time that we have, and be prepared for the next wave of nonsense that's to come. So when something else happens, rather than complaining about big tech and complaining about the rich people, we can be pulling moves like Kyrie and be like, what? I ain't finna do that. No, I ain't doing that. And guess what? He's back now. Because this is what I always say to you guys, that the media, the government, all these entities want to convince us, the people, that we are not as powerful as we truly are. But here's what I always say. If we had no power, they wouldn't be trying so hard to get our votes. Why did, or why won't even say who know, why do, in general, why is it known that politicians lie to get into place? Why do they have to lie? Because somebody has to vote them into that position, right? So let's wake up, right? I know it's hard to talk about this stuff, but listen, guys, I'm saying this to you out of love because I don't want you guys to be caught short in the long run when it's going to be worse thinking about this stuff when you're already a victim again of what's happening. Let's be victors, all right? Victors, not victims in 2022. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed this video. If you want to hear me talk more about sports on here, I really want to talk more about sports, but I have so much to learn, and yeah, I got so much I want to talk about. So you guys just let me know what you want me to talk about in the comment section down below. I appreciate that. I appreciate y'all. Other than that, don't forget to like the video. God bless you all, and I'll see you in my next one. Goodbye.